We're going to get started here pretty quick. I mean, if everybody can hear okay. I don't know if there's anybody just kind of wandering around aimlessly waiting to show up. But we're going to go and get started. I'm Eric Edelmeyer with the Noble Company. My compadre here, Dave Kennedy.
Yes.
Some of you, I believe, were here for the last presentation that Dean and James and Dave and Dave and Dave and Dave did.
Yeah.
This is kind of a little bit of a piggyback off of that. The Pro Deck system, which was just shown a couple minutes ago, kind of evolved from what we have up here, which is our shower base systems. The Noble Company's done shower bases for well over 10 years. We've kind of evolved it as we've gone. It's changed. It started out originally as just a foam product. At one time it was simply a honeycomb product. Now we're really doing a composite system up here where we've taken a honeycomb and laminated it on top of the foam for increased strength. We're getting about 235 PSI out of our foam shower bases because of the honeycomb on top of it. And like I said, I know some of this is a repeat that James and Dean have already talked about. If you weren't here from that, this is going to be really exciting for you. If you were here, some of it's going to be a little bit of a repeat. But we'll kind of jump into this a little bit and kind of talk a little bit about kind of how we evolved. And like I said, I'll let Dave handle a lot of this. But I mean, I don't know where you want to start, Dave. If you have an order that you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the Freestyle thin bed drain base. Okay, hand me that drain. So our thin bed.
Oh, thin bed.
Yep, that thin bed.
That one.
No, I'll get him trained yet.
It's hard to get good help.
So we have what we call our Freestyle thin bed drain. It is a not a bonding flange drain, it's a clamping ring drain. Okay? It's a three-piece with a strainer that screws in, but you're going to direct bond the membrane to the drain, okay? And then tile from there. We went with the clamping ring because we know a clamping ring is bulletproof. Okay? It comes in ABS or PVC, and then you actually glue the pipe to the drain because we know a glued fitting, you never have to worry about it.
So that's a very thin clamping ring there that we still are going with a thin set method.
A thin set or thin bed method.
Yep.
Correct. It's a 1/2 inch tall, so you're going to directly screw this down to the substrate. You can give it to the plumber, tell him where you need it. He can screw it down to the substrate. Unlike some other ones that the drain has to be put into their base after the base is in. And then we've taken that, with this drain, our base, we've actually have a 1/2 inch thick area where the drain will, you can see over here, where the drain will, there.
So the drain is installed first into the substrate.
The drain is installed first into the substrate.
Yeah, by either
Correct.
the plumber or yourself,
Yep.
standard
So
2-inch connection.
Right. So the plumber can take responsibility for that connection. Okay. So moving on to the base, now we're going to talk more about our custom bases, okay? Our custom base program. With our custom base program, we have foam-only bases, which is a 3-pound foam, 80 PSI. We have the honeycomb foam matrix base, which these all are here. That gives you, like Eric said, 235 PSI rating on that. So we don't care what size tile you put on that. You can do penny rounds, doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about epoxy mortars or epoxy grouts either. Okay. We have it unwaterproofed, or we have it pre-waterproofed. Now with pre-waterproofing is our Noble Seal TS membrane. It is a 30 mil CPE membrane that we've had out since when?
1982.
1982. The first bondable fleece membrane in the business. We still have the exact same membrane. It's a commercially rated steam room membrane. With this membrane onto this base, it is a lifetime warranty. Anything, if you put something else on top of it without the membrane, no, we give you a 10-year warranty on that. But with the membrane on the base, lifetime. That even includes if you use our Aqua Blue liquid membrane, our Aqua Seal wall membrane, or even the TS on the walls and transition to the base, you're still going to get a lifetime warranty for the system.
So you can use any membrane you want on the wall.
Any membrane you want on the wall with a Noble membrane on the wall, provided it's on a approved backer board by others, okay? You're still going to get a lifetime warranty on that system. Okay? Now, as far as the custom-based program part of it, we have a 72-hour program, which we will ship out within 72 hours. If you have a base that is unwaterproofed, less than 100 inches on each side, and less than 5 sides as far as configuration. If you want it waterproofed, more than 100 inches on each side, more than 5 sides on a configuration, now we have a 5 to 10 day program before it's shipped.
Yep. But in most cases, we can get it to you within about 72 hours in a standard base.
Yeah. Now, with the point drain, we require that you be no less or no more than 10 inches from the edge. Otherwise, you've got quite a slope at that point.
Yeah, because all of our perimeters are a uniform thickness.
Yes. So just give you an example of the thicknesses. So if our basic 60 by 32 base, it's a ½ inch tall at the drain, it's 1 1/4 inches at the perimeter. So if you want to do a roll-in shower, you got a wood frame construction, you drop your substrate flush with your floor joists, you've got a 3/4 inch recess, you maybe throw a ½ inch backer board on your dry space. Now you can accommodate a roll-in shower because of how thin this is. Okay. So we talked about different configurations, sizes. Now this is a neo angle, okay? You can do up to 5 different sizes on this configuration.
Same drain connection.
Same drain connection on this one. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we also have this available in our single slope for our linear drain. If it comes pre-waterproof, we will add a flap to that. And if you're familiar with our Freestyle linear drain with a clamping ring, the drain will go down first. The base will be thin-setted down in place. And once that's thin-setted down in place, use a 250 sealant on the drain body. You'll flap that over, put the clamping ring, and it's sealed in.
If you've noticed, being a waterproof company, first and foremost, we do believe in clamping rings for drains. We really don't like to see a situation where the membrane is simply caulked or sealed to a drain body. There's so much expansion, contraction taking place over the course of the lifetime. Basically, people are starting to see some of the fabrics coming loose from the drains.
Yeah.
The clamping ring is that mechanical connection to make sure that it stays there.
Yeah. It's like Eric said, we also offer this. I think Dean mentioned it too. We also offer our drain pre-attached flashing, but we still have the clamping ring. If you order that drain that way, and the base with the waterproofing on it, you would simply just cut that flap off, and then once the drain's in, seal that flap down to the membrane with our 250 sealant. Again, that is a lifetime warranty on that system.
Take 'em.
Yeah. So we also offer this base, we say drains by other, okay? If you have a 3-piece clamping ring drain, it's made for a mud bed. We have what we call our commercial version. A lot of you are familiar with our NobleFlex drain flashing that we've had forever. It transitions from the top of a thin bed method down to a clamping ring drain, and then you just put your weep protector in and fill this with dry pack mortar, and you transition that to a 3-piece clamping ring drain. Well, they call that in the industry the divot method. People years ago used to use a frying pan and put in there to make that divot.
Yep.
And do the mud.
This is available in about 8 or 9 different sizes, ranging from 3/4 of an inch up to 1.5 inch deep. So it depends how the divot is. A lot of the commercial drains out there, like a Zern or something like that, a cast iron drain, when you basically put the membrane into the clamping ring, into the threaded strainer part, that'll bottom out usually at about 3/4 of an inch. So I need to basically transition from a 3/4 inch mortar bed, drop down into that clamping ring, because the drain doesn't go low enough. So what this allows you to do is use that type of a drain with a thin set or thin bed type of membrane. So I'm simply dropping down at different depths. We also will do these in custom depths. When you get to a commercial job site and the drain's been set by the plumber and all of the elevations are out of whack, we can basically make these any custom depths to transition down. You can even run over the top of this with a liquid membrane if you so desire.
So desire, sure. So, you know, in the commercial field, 90% of the time it's going to be a cast iron 3-piece clamping ring drain, because a lot of times PVC is not allowed in there. So you're going to have to deal with that and use a NobleFlex drain flashing. But the base, we have now made the commercial version. We've actually put in the divot into this. And then that'll go right into there, tie into your drain, and then your membrane will go on the base, lap over that flashing, and make a waterproof downhill shingle seal. Again, any sizes that you need, hole, wherever you need the drain hole at. Again, no more than, it's got to at least be 10 inches off the wall. Okay? We also can do these in an ADA compliant, where, you know, 1/4 inch per foot is the max that you can go from one side. We've done quite a few of those in commercial, even in this version of that.
Speaking of that, there's a huge market for these also in the commercial industry. We've done several hotels where the showers are a size or two. We can custom make this base, whatever size you want, put the drain any place you want it. Getting this up 32 stories is a whole lot easier than getting sand and cement up 32 stories, especially after we just got out of COVID, when man elevators were basically limited to about 6 people on the man lift, not counting wheelbarrows.
Yeah.
So this is a huge time saver on commercial jobs. Even though the price of the product itself is more than your typical dry pack mortar mix, the labor involved and the transitioning time and the ease of the installation usually will more than make up for it.
Yeah, and using the pre-waterproof bases, and say you want to really rock and roll on this job and you want to set tile the next day, you can throw that base down with some speed set mortar, do all the tie-ins with the wall tie-ins and the drain tie-ins with our NobleSeal 250, which is a moisture cure sealant. You can immediately water test for that. So you get it in, water test it, it passes, the next day you're tiling. So, you know, if you're using modified thin set and some of the other systems to do your seam sealing and that, you got to wait overnight before you can do a water test on that. So the labor saving is huge on this. And again, you know, with the dust control laws that are out there now, all you got to do is mix up a little thin set for this.
I think that's pretty much everything we had. I mean, I don't know if there's any questions out there. We kind of blew through that a little bit quick. I mean, I know you've probably heard the shower base story from about 15 other manufacturers just today. So we're one of the many. But if you have any questions, I'd like to point out the Noble Company is right over here. Please stop over and see us, and we'll get into a little bit more detail if you'd like. Thank you.
Thank you.